It's not very well knotted, but it'll have to do. It'll have to do. Well, people, the plan was to upload a review on the Cold War today. Not the Cold War, the war itself, but Call of Duty, Black Ops, Cold War, because I pre-ordered it and stuff, and it came out today, so that's what I was planning on doing. Didn't happen, you know, just didn't happen. I did a review on the beta, if you want to watch that, it'll be in the description, but this video, as you can tell from the title, and probably the thumbnail, and the tie, maybe. It is 12:37, 40, 12:40 right now. 40 minutes ago, 1 year's worth of content was deleted off of the face of YouTube. Now, whether it is still held in an archive somewhere is unknown, to me at least. But one thing I could say for certain is that the original content that was uploaded to YouTube under the channel Unus Annus is gone forever. And for everyone who, you know, watched their videos day in, day out, every day for the last 365 days, it happened. So many people believed that it wouldn't, hoped that it wouldn't, but we all knew it would. We all knew this time would come, that we'd be here in this very moment, experiencing what we are now, whatever that is. It's different for all of you. It's bittersweet, you know, as they say, as they said, I guess. But it's hard to really wrap your head around if you never accepted it beforehand, to be honest. Still kind of in denial, I guess. Because you know it's gone. And you know it can't come back. But it's like your mind can't wrap itself around that fact. You can't really soak it in fully. But it happened. And there's nothing that we can do to bring it back. It's gone. And it was made to be gone. That was the plan from the start. 365 days they had to make, to create. "365 days we had. Not only to watch, to experience, but to live. Not to say that we're all gonna die now, because it's over. But that year is over. Sure, we're still in 2020. But from the start of Unus Annus to the end of it, today, it was a year. Now what we did with that year was up to us. Sure, it might have had watching Unus Annus included in it. But what we truly did, what we accomplished with that year, was a decision unto ourselves. What did you do with that year? What did I do with that year? And did we do everything that we could have to make it a good one? I know. A lot of crazy stuff happened over the year. It was unplanned, right? A lot of stuff that we never even thought would happen in our lifetime, really, but it did. And it happened this year, a lot of it. But that doesn't really matter, because we live our lives in this world. So much happens around us, but our lives don't depend on what happened around us. Our lives depend on how we reacted to that, how we adapted to that, how we overcame the challenges that we faced, and how we came out stronger than we went in. How we left an impact on the world and the people around us. And for Mark and Ethan, for Unus and Annus, I believe, as well as all of you probably do as well, they truly did that. They took every day as an opportunity to make something. The question is, did you? Not necessarily to create a YouTube video or to edit something or to think of ideas, but to do something. And I don't mean eat a bag of potato chips. I mean something real, something significant, something that will change your life in the future, for the better, hopefully, but sometimes we can't predict the outcomes of the actions that we make, because life is unpredictable, and death comes for us all. So the question isn't, will I die? And the question shouldn't be when. The question is, what am I gonna do every day until that moment comes? Because we only have one life. We only have one chance. And every one of our lives has a start. A birth. And every one of our lives has an end. A death. That's not the variable in this situation. That's the constant in every single human life on this planet. The variable changes throughout all of the billions of lives that have been lived, are being lived, or will be lived, is what we do with that life. What we do in between the point of the start and the point of the end. Because those will never change. Those will never go away. We can do nothing about that. But that whole distance in between those 2 points is everything. It's everything for every single one of us. Because we all live our lives day to day. And a lot of us spend too much time thinking about death. What will happen after I die? When will I die? How will I die? Who will I die with? Some of these are important questions, but is it better to live your life thinking about the end of it? Or is it better to live your life living it? I'd say the latter. And I think Mark and Ethan would agree. And hopefully, the millions and millions of people who watched Unus Annus when it was still around have came to that conclusion as well. Because ultimately, past all the bits, all the funny laughs, all the goofs, that was the message. That was the goal. That is Unus Annus. That is the legacy they will have left behind. Life is not permanent. Death will come. The only thing different is that we don't know when. Unus Annus had a set lifespan. 365 days to do as much as they possibly could, and they did. But now for us, what time do we have? We can't say. But what we can say, what we can choose, what we do know, is what we will do with that time. How we will live our lives. These are the choices that we have. The question is, what will you choose? What will you do with your time? Who will you spend your time with? Because the biggest thing that people are afraid of is not death. It's not what happens after, no matter how much you say it is. No matter how much you think about it, no matter how much you ponder on that idea, the scariest thing is being there in that moment before it ends and thinking, I didn't do everything that I could have done. It's that thought of regret. That thought of, I could have done more, that truly scares me. And probably the majority, if not all of you. Because once we go over that line, once our clock hits 0, there is no going back. That's it. I know it's hard to think about, it's hard to talk about for sure, but it needs to be thought about, it needs to be talked about. Because you don't want to waste your life. You don't want to have lived your life having not lived. No matter how much Unus Annus seemed like a dumb experiment or an excuse to make stupid videos and do whatever they wanted and be as unfiltered as they can desire, can dream of, to do any idea that pops into their head. Besides all of that, Unus Annus was truly a wake-up call. Not so much to me, because I had already realized this before. But hopefully, for a lot of you who haven't, who've been living their lives doing nothing. And that is what we need to change. Because hopefully you didn't go through the experience of Unus Annus and the end without realizing what it meant. Not only what it meant in terms of the impermanence of life and the inevitability of death, but that it is true for you. And that if you are not already making decisions influenced by that truth, that you should be. That you should make a change to leave an impact from your life. Because you only have one. There are no redos. There are no push reset buttons. You can't stop the clock. You can't add time to it. It is forever ticking down. And so, make every second count. Don't leave anything to chance. If you want to achieve something, work every single day to achieve it. Do not stop. Do not slow down. Do not give up until you have reached that point, until you have reached that goal. Then, don't stop there. Don't settle. Never settle. Don't say, this is my peak. Don't say, I've reached the top of the mountain, because there are higher mountains to climb. Keep climbing. Keep climbing. Because I can tell you, wherever you are right now, you are not at your full potential. You are not at your peak. Do not stop. Do not settle. Do not take anything from anybody, because you, no matter how cliche this saying is, you are the only you. So why not make the best out of it? Why not be the best you that you can be? Now I know this is a long video, but the more I talk, the more thoughts come into my mind. I can talk about this for hours, to be honest. And if you want, I will. I could. Definitely. But for this, I'll try to cut it short, because we're nearing 20 minutes. And I don't think I'm going to edit this very much at all, because I feel that every word is important, even if it is repeated. That is because it is important. This is your life. This is whether you feel fulfilled when you die, or whether you have an empty heart, soul, whatever it may be, but a void. That you missed your mark. That you didn't do what you wanted to do. That you didn't leave something in the world. That you didn't make it better than before you were here. Because that is our mission on this planet. No matter what you think about religion or existence, we were created to make the world a better place. So actively work towards that each and every day, no matter what that means to you. Whether it means saying hi to your neighbor, or spending time with your family, or creating YouTube videos, or writing a book, or drawing something, or creating something, or sharing something with somebody. Do something. Find your passion and work towards that each and every day. Because if you don't, you're going to regret it. And there's nothing you can do once the clock strikes 0. I know this wasn't really an Unus Annus review or anything, but I feel that it was. Because I feel that everything that I just said ties to the message of Unus Annus. And I thank Mark and Ethan and Amy and all of everyone that worked on Unus Annus. All the editors, all the people behind the scenes that made it possible. Everyone they worked with, everyone they shot with, everyone. Because no matter what it looked like on the surface, it truly was something meaningful and hopefully for a lot of people, life-changing, whether you realized it or not. And so, thank you. And memento mori. Unus Annus.
I'm really happy.
I'm really happy. There's no tears here. There's.
Fuck it up.
That's really the thing. Yeah, we didn't mess it up. We didn't.
Because that was the scariest part going into it was like, what
You have
if
a mic?
Because my fear was like, what if we get a month in and like we lose steam, or like one of you has another project that you want to prioritize. I'm like,
Yeah.
we can't just drop it.
Remember when I texted you? It was like, hey, it was like after Christmas. I was like, hey,
Oh,
man, I'm just
God.
not feeling Unus Annus.
Yeah.
And long texted that I was like, ha, JK, when are we filming?
Jesus Christ, yeah. It was like a long text.
I just
was
went
just
on
like,
and on. I was like, man,
what?
sorry, I'm really not feeling it. It's just like, this is it, guys. There's no more profound words. There's no more pretty language to say. Just a very heartfelt thank you and goodbye
Thank you.
from
Goodbye.
us to you.
Don't take any second for granted.
Make the most of your time. Memento mori.
Unus
Unus.
Annus.
All three of us together.
Yeah.
Ready? One,
Ooh, oh.
2, 3.
Unus Annus.
See you on the other side.
See you on the other side.